All right, guys, happy Friday. Got an exciting episode here for you. We are talking about 5 players that are absolutely extreme value. Now, you could say that these guys are sleepers. I just think that they're amazing value, why you should draft them, how amazing their value is, and their talent. Everything you guys need to know about these 5 players and why they are extreme value in fantasy football drafts. Now, I understand it's late March, and I understand it's fantasy offseason for most. But for here, we do not stop. So smash thumbs up, smash it, tap it, slap it, Lions roar, smash, guys, that thumbs up, and turn on that bell. I got some big news coming this year. It's going to be a massive year, giving you guys outside-the-box thinking analysis, as I always do. We don't follow the cookie-cutter rankings. We're here finding those hidden gems like last year, the Sam Laportas of the world. We're here to tell you guys the truth while everybody's doing copy and paste. That's not what we do on this channel. So very important, guys. Spread the word. I am an independent. I do this on my own. I'm not funded by a 4-letter network. So, guys, make sure you guys smash it, support it, and let's join the community. Let's make this Lion community a lot bigger than it is. All right, guys? Make sure you guys also grab 16 rounds. I've linked it below. You can pre-order it. Use code SMASH to save 20%. Everything, sleepers, breakouts, cheat sheet, everything you need to smash your leagues, guys, in 16 rounds. Grab it below. You'll be light years ahead of the competition, or the Consheeps, I should say. All right, let's talk about these 5 extreme players, 5 extreme value players. Let's start off with a quarterback here. Absolutely love him. And again, I hope you guys are having a good Friday. I like these Friday episodes. I'm kind of chilled back, chilling out. It is Good Friday today. So again, I'm just chilling, having a relaxed day, getting you guys that information, connecting with you guys, and keeping that fantasy content flowing here in the off season, what we call regular season for Counselor Nation, okay? All right, first one is Jared Goff. Now, Jared Goff is amazing value this year, QB 15. Now, the thing about him is that he lacks the upside of, let's say, a guy like CJ Stroud, or a guy like Anthony Richardson, or a guy even like Mahomes or Josh Allen. He lacks that upside because he doesn't have the feet, right? He doesn't do the running plays. He doesn't have the rushing touchdowns. But he is a consistent, solid fantasy producer every single year. And he's very sneaky, guys. He's going to put up the points for you. Last year, 30 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, over 4,500 yards passing. That's pretty amazing. And again, he's sitting at QB 15. He was number 7 in fantasy points last year, guys. Jared Goff is a guy that can produce on a high level, in not even like a high ceiling level, but a consistent level, but still top 10 level, if you consider that as a high level. He's got the weapons. He's got Jahmyr Gibbs taking a step up this year. We got Jameson Williams taking a step up this year. Got Laporta taking a step up this year. And Amon-Ra St. Brown taking a step up. So he's got the offensive weapons. He's got the coaching. He's got the talent. He's got the efficiency. Now, do I trust him as a QB1? You know, I like those upside guys. I would probably rather prefer having a CJ Stroud. But the big question is, do you want to invest that draft capital? That's something that we're going to feel out. And that's something I'm going to lay out in the 16-round draft session. As of right now, I just think Jared Goff, based on the consistency, the value, the upside, he is great to draft. QB 15 on the Consheeps' rankings, being slept on because he lacks that running upside, okay? Keep him on your radar. Great and extreme value. Second guy, let's go to a running back here. I'm talking like extreme value. We're talking Tajae Spears, who's sitting at RB27, who is the RB1 on his team. Now, I'm not having this debate here that Pollard is the one. Pollard is not the one. Pollard has always been the backup. So let me give you the case that supports Tajae Spears over Tony Pollard, okay? Tony Pollard was always a backup, built as a backup. Tajae Spears was drafted to be a replacement for Derrick Henry. The draft capital that the Cowboys invested, not the Tennessee Titans, the Cowboys invested 4th round draft capital. I think it was 4th or 5th round on Tony Pollard like 5 years ago. And back in 2019, when you look at Tajae, he was 3rd round draft capital. So higher draft capital by a team that he's still on. So the team that invested in him is still there. That's something to look at. You're looking at youth. You're looking at last year. And again, what's crazy, there's similar players in the sense they both catch the ball in the backfield. You know, we had 52 receptions for Tajae last year, a touchdown, 100 rushing attempts, right? Now, 2 touchdowns rushing. But you had Derrick Henry there, the king of all running backs. This guy demands volume more than anybody else. So when you're sharing a backfield with Derrick Henry and you still have 100 rushing attempts, that's pretty remarkable, considering as well 280 attempts were gone. So 280 attempts were gone. They bring in Pollard. That's great news because they bring Pollard in as a backup to Tajae Spears as depth on their depth chart. Now imagine if they brought in a guy like Saquon Barkley. Then we would have some issues because Saquon is a true RB1. Tony Pollard is not. And if I can get Tajae Spears, which I will, he's RB27, he actually dropped, which is great because people think that Pollard is the one. And even if it's a split backfield and Tony is the one coming out, I still like the upside of Tajae Spears if it's a 50-50 committee based on value and based on the fact that Tajae could take that RB1 spot with absolute ease and run with it. So Tajae Spears, extreme value. You're getting an RB1 later. And this is the year where I'm actually almost debating on waiting a little bit more on running backs because there's so much value at running backs. That being said, there's way more value at wide receiver, which we're going to get into in a second here with the next three wide receivers, including the rookie wide receivers that are coming in. So a ton of value with wide receivers, running backs, and I'm going to tell you exactly where that is in 16 rounds. So grab it, pre-order it below, use code SMASHERSAVE. I'm also doing a fantasy sports summit where I'm bringing some of these athletes, and Tajae is going to be there at the summit. Yes, Tajae Spears will be at the Fantasy Sports Summit. You can have a chance to ask him questions virtually. It's going to be amazing. Fantasy Sports Summit, guys, August 21st, virtual. People are asking where it is. The comfort of your home, guys. Secure your ticket right below here. You can package it with 60 rounds. It's going to be absolutely amazing, okay? Number 3, extreme value here is George Pickens. Guys, I love the value here. George Pickens, guys, is sitting. Guys, do you know where George Pickens is sitting? He is sitting at wide receiver 34. This is amazing. He's the wide receiver one in his team. 106 targets last year, 1,140 yards last year, 5 touchdowns with crappy quarterback play. They obviously got an upgrade this year with Russell Wilson. He's the clear-cut one. Now, that being said, I think they brought in, who else they bring? Van Jefferson or something like that. I still think they're going to probably draft a receiver, possibly to add depth at that position. Pat Freiermuth takes a step up. George Pickens takes a step up. You know, and again, the cool thing is if Russell Wilson starts, which he should, he's going to have somebody breathing down his neck in Justin Fields, which is only going to elevate his game even more. So I love George Pickens this year. He's wide receiver 34. This is absolutely amazing. You're getting a wide receiver one on your team, on your fantasy team, who's a wide receiver one on his team, who's got a ton of ceiling and is a player that demands the ball. With Deontay Johnson being shipped off to Carolina, this opens up a lot for Deontay Johnson. Absolutely amazing. Great value, steal, and you can call them a fantasy football sleeper because that's what they are. But I'm just saying that these guys, yeah, they are being slept on based on their ADP, but they're just extreme value. Love them, okay? Number 4 here is Drake London, wide receiver 21, finished wide receiver 37 last year. Bad coaching, bad everything last year with the Falcons. Arthur Smith is shipped off. Now you're saying, well, Joe, Arthur Smith is shipped off, but he's now with George Pickens with the Steelers as an offensive coordinator. Yeah, but he's not going to be making all the plays. And George Pickens is primed for a ton of volume, and the head coach stayed the same. With Drake London, he gets a major upgrade at quarterback with Kirk Cousins, and I'm seeing him as wide receiver 21. Last year, only 2 touchdowns, 905 yards, 69 receptions with bad quarterback play. He gets a major upgrade. Now, to put it in perspective how great this value is, you're getting a guy who was a first-round pick on his team, who's the wide receiver one on his team, to a quarterback that made Jefferson who Jefferson was. Kirk Cousins is there. This is a massive upgrade. He's going to be fed. I mean, this is such a great opportunity for Drake London to finally thrive along with Kyle Pitts in that entire offense. So this is really exciting. I cannot explain to you how exciting the upside is. You're getting a wide receiver one, and you don't have to pay a high draft capital. You get a third rounder after, probably around round 3 or 4. Amazing value for a wide receiver one who's primed. Again, you're paying that top 5 pick last year for Jefferson, who I told you to avoid, because Kirk Cousins was there. Now you're paying a 3rd to 4th round pick for Drake London, who was a 1st round pick with great talent, who hasn't really peaked, with Kirk Cousins there throwing the ball. I mean, absolutely amazing, guys. Extreme value. I can't say it enough. Amazing. Last guy here is Jaden Reed. Now, he is sitting at wide receiver 38. 94 targets. The only guy that had more targets last time at wide receiver was Dobbs. Dobbs could be the one, but Jaden Reed as a rookie came in, really stepped up, did really well. And we know Jordan Love's taking a step up this year. I love Jaden Reed. I think the upside's there. The ceiling is there. The red zone targets and volume is going to be there. Now, again, you have the issue with the three-headed monster committee, who is the wide receiver one. We're getting this issue with a lot of teams, even like the Bears, the DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. You're going to have this issue across the board. So what I'm telling people is that if you're going to draft a wide receiver that you're speculating is going to be the wide receiver one, example, Jaden Reed, example, Keenan Allen, and on and on and on, if you're going to speculate on who the wide receiver one is, then you have to wait and get these guys for value, which you are going to be getting with a guy like Jaden Reed. I see it time and time again, and I warn time and time again. We saw it last year with T. Higgins. I was screaming from the rooftops, do not draft T. Higgins at the end of round 2, which is where his ADP was going, and that's the BS everybody's teaching you, is like, okay, let's draft Waddle and Higgins round 2. Why would you do that when you get wide receiver ones on top of their depth chart, prime for volume, and spend a second round pick on a guy who's clearly going to be the 2? You could do that. You can get a wide receiver 2 potentially that can be the 1. Example, Tank Dell. Example, Jade Reed, and some other guys. And even some of these rookies that are coming in that are going to be slated as the one that are going to be value as well. Guys, so much value at wide receiver this year, but I would wait on them, okay? I cannot express enough. You can get so much value at wide receiver this year. There's value everywhere. I'm seeing it. The Kashifs are sleeping. And a big part of that I'm noticing is that there's a lot of copying and pasting, as there always is. On top of that, there's a lot of aging players as well. Because of the aging players, we're able to capitalize on the youth later while letting people that can sheepsist in your league waste their draft capital on guys that are older, that are on set to decline. Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, coming off like pinnacle years. CeeDee Lamb, coming off pinnacle years. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, not as old as some of the guys I'm saying, but you guys get the point. Guys coming off pinnacle years, guys sliding down the depth chart, guys that are getting older in their twilight years are going to be still expensive because of their value in the past year or two, but that is set to decline. We saw Puka take over Cooper Kupp, and that could happen in any type of situation. I told you, I warned you, don't draft Cooper Kupp last year. Don't draft Jefferson coming off pinnacle year. Don't draft Tony Pollard. He's a fake RB1. Don't draft Austin Eckler. So I'm able to see who's on the regression, and I wasn't right 100%. I missed out on Christian McCaffrey. That's okay. One wrong in the first round, nailed everybody else. I'm okay with that. I can live with that and get to sleep at night knowing I did well. So, guys, make sure you guys are paying attention, and you got 16 rounds of you can pre-order it below, and you're subscribed to this channel because I'm going to give you guys that outside of the box thinking while everybody's copying and pasting based on last year. Everybody, 99% of people giving advice is copy and paste because they want to play it safe. They don't want to take chances. They weren't going to tell you to make Laporta your tight end one last year. That's just stuff they don't do because they're programmed to give you copy and paste BS that's not going to help you win because they like to play it safe and they don't like to be held accountable. All right, guys? So if you guys are resonating with this, if this is the truth to you, if it's making sense, I know it is, subscribe, thumbs up, turn on that bell. Going to be doing more lives in the evening starting April. We got the Sports Summit bringing NFL athletes on. It's going to be amazing, guys. This channel is the truth because I want you guys to actually win your leagues. Subscribe, thumbs up. I appreciate you, and have a great Easter weekend. We'll talk soon.